Now on to the complete October 2023 graphic novel haul. So those of you who were around to the days when I was getting floppies and it was new issues too, along with trades, may be wondering if I'm ever going to get back on that. And the answer to that is a resounding hell no. It was a pain in the ass at first to begin with, because it was just it's $4 per little itty bitty floppy, like this size right. Oh, so like this size, like right here, this Berserker book. This is not one I got this month, by the way. This is just showing you guys an example. This was $4. Actually, nope, it's $4. I was gonna say let's see if it maybe more, but I stuttered like hell. So it was really unnecessary. And yeah, there are some series I probably will never get caught back up on, like something that's from the children, because I'm tied down to just getting one book from this one publisher, which is Image Comics. But if they have a sale on them, I'll get them on the Kindle. And I think eventually I will graduate from, so to speak, from Image to Boom Studios. It'll probably be the next one I go to, because Boom Studios seems to have a lot of books I really liked. So they're basically like the second Image kind of thing. And I'll go on to probably, I don't know, but, because that's going to be a while from now. But I'll never get back on floppies. And the other reason for why that is because I want to get more trades than floppies. And I'm trying to like get my Image Comics shelf to be like my complete shelf. Like not everything, obviously, just one side of the shelf, and I'm almost there. I have 3 out of the 4 rows filled up with Image Comics. It's 3.5, honestly, at this point. And this will help. And Christmas will help, too. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into it. 5 books this time, starting with Hell to Pay by Charles Soule, collecting all 6 issues of this mini series. There's another one coming out, but it's gonna be like it's like a it's Trails. It's Tales in a Shrouded College 1 through 6, I believe, because another 6-issue mini series kind of thing. But that's coming out in November. They could not wait that long, apparently. I think it was always planned that way. It just, for whatever reason, I thought this is gonna be it for a while, at least for a while. Yeah, 1 through 6. It's like a horror, supernatural, fantasy kind of book. A lot of the books I got this month are fantasy, were supernatural. So it's 1 through 6. Written by Charles Soule, with art done by Will Sliney. Not Sinley, I guess that's Silney. No, maybe Sinley. I don't know, but Sliney is the artist. Will Sliney is the artist. And the colorist is Rachelle Rosenberg. And again, 1 through 6. There is the artwork. I like I said before, I really do like Charles Soule's writing, and his Image Comics work seems to be my favorite. The favorite of his I've read, but I've only read, and I haven't finished it yet, his Curse Words. But it may be a lifetime Charles Soule fan. Oh, and I did read part of his Undiscovered Country, which was more of a Scott Snyder. It seemed to be more of a Scott Snyder book. But I always think of Undiscovered Country. I always think of Scott Snyder. I don't usually think of Charles Soule, despite the fact that he's co-authoring, co-writing the book. And it could be more than co-writing, you know. It could be more of a Charles Soule book than a Scott Snyder book. But I would hesitate to call it a Charles Soule book. But yes, I have read part of that too. It was the first 4 issues. I liked it. It took me a long time to get into it, but I did. And then once I did, I bought the series myself. But Hell to Pay 1 through 6, and and $14.99, by the way. It's rated T for teen, huh? I just realized that. I thought it was rated M for mature. Rated T for teen for Image usually means that it's okay for it's like a PG-13 kind of thing. Usually is what that means. Sometimes they're allowed more than other T for teen books are. I remember Rocket Girl had at least 2 uncensored F words, and you're still allowed that in a PG-13. So maybe they're going by like PG-13 standards. But it was just kind of surprising to me that a T for teen book did that. Even Teen Plus books had to censor it, even if it was just once. I remember Snot Girl. Snot Girl had a lot, and they started out by doing it like more heavily censored, but then as the book went along, it'd be like less and less, and sometimes they even didn't have it censored at all. But they'd have like a little line through it, so you could still tell it was an F word, but it was just tagged and censored. But yeah, even that had to censor it for the most part. I mean, maybe it was a stylistic choice from Scott Pilgrim. You might hear Scott Pilgrim too, and Scott Pilgrim the movie at least did that too with like little like noises instead of swear words. So it's kind of funny that they did that. I believe the author was involved in making the movie too. I could be wrong. Cannot wait for a Netflix show though. That's gonna be interesting. But yes, keep saying it. I know. Then we have the only other book that's not part of the same series, and that is Sacred Creatures. This was one that Hell to Pay was the only book I had not read previously. This and the next three I've read the entire series of. Hell to Pay, I have not read a single page of that book. It was just when I knew it was coming out and I wanted to get it. It's the last Charles Soule trade I need from Image Comics. Of course, I gotta wait for the next Hell to Pay book, then the next volume of Undiscovered Country to come out, and everything. Out to that point. Even then, I'll be out to that point, because I'm pretty sure Hell to Pay is going to be at least 3 volumes. I know it's one more volume after this. After Volume 5, so there's 6 volumes for Undiscovered Country, and Volume 5 has not even come out yet. Volume 5 isn't coming out until April, so it'll be like 2025 when that series ends. It's insane. And the reason why I know that is because on the solicits for Volume 5, it says penultimate issue, and I looked up just to make sure, and I was like, yep, it means second to last. But this is Sacred Creatures, again, 1 through 6, like with Hell to Pay. So you can tell that each issue of Sacred Creatures is a lot longer than of Hell to Pay. And even this is pretty thick for collecting 6 issues. But this is even thicker. This is both the size of the Preacher, and maybe the same exact size, honestly, as the Preacher trades. Like same amount of pages, which is crazy because that collects like 14 issues. In fact, I'm gonna check right quickly here. Is it handy? What's that right there? No. If it's not, I'm just gonna come back over here. I'm just gonna see if that happens. I want to do a size comparison. Yeah, it's right there. So Sacred Creatures is another supernatural kind of book, and in fact, ironically enough, a lot of people make connections to Supernatural, it's a television series, which is on Netflix. I'll be watching that now. But I really enjoyed the first time I read it, Sacred Creatures, and I wanted to own it. So let's do a size again. This book I did not have. I'm just doing a size comparison with Preacher. I've had this for a long time. It's not one I bought just this month. So it's even bigger than Preacher, just crazy. Because Preacher I was always like astounded with. And Preacher is also cheaper. So let's see. It's more pages. This is a bit more pages, but if we're going by, even if you're going by where chapter 14, there was no pinups. So the official Timberlake was at the end. 368 for this. So it actually is more pages for less price, cheap price. But it's an older book too. This one was $23, but you can tell it was thicker. And that's just according to Amazon. Says it's 336 pages. It does have a table of contents, even though it doesn't have page numbers. And yeah, 318 cover gallery, and that's not that much for a cover gallery. It kind of is. Let's see. 318 or 19, 2021. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34. Yep, it's exactly 336 pages. I always like to count it. I always like to count it when I can, just in case, because sometimes Amazon has it a bit incorrect. In fact, they're like the Kindle editions. I remember, especially for Bitter Root, that thick omnibus was 528 pages. But for Image Comics, it's thick. For that one, they had they said like it's like 400. It wasn't even 500 pages, like Kindle edition. And what's really strange that if you're going by like the math, it shouldn't be that way because you're going by the math of like, okay, this is much, this issue is this many pages, this issue is that many pages. I went by a trade. I went by a trade too, and it didn't add up. Like you'd be having less than what the trades gave you, and I'm pretty almost positive the hardcover has everything the trades have and more. I believe and more. I don't think less. But yeah, Sacred Creatures. Again, the one downside I had in this series was the fact that I felt like the characters were endlessly tortured, and it was a bit too much. It was like, I understand that there needs to be conflict in the book, but I feel like honestly I feel like they could have even like concluded the narrative or the story had it not had that. But I still really enjoyed it. I am still eagerly anticipating a volume 2. Not holding my breath for one, but eagerly anticipating the announcement. Yeah, Klaus Janson, the artist for Daredevil and the Frank Miller Daredevil run and Dark Knight Returns, a lot of its classic books, and he writes it too. That's honestly, for those people, those of us who have been who know our shit, should automatically be putting that on our Amazon list or wish lists right now. Finally, last but certainly not the least, all 3 volumes, all 3 hardcovers, with all 30 issues of Wayward. And yes, as you can see, we have a little troublemaker on our hands with Volume 2 being the only one that looks like this. It's very strange. But I don't give a shit. I could give a lesser shit. Okay, so they each collect 10 issues, so it's 10 issues per volume, putting all 30 issues of Wayward. A bunch of, so for the it's originally it was trade paperbacks, of course. It was originally issues, obviously, but then they came with the trades and the hardcovers. And the hardcovers come with this really cool. Each hardcover does, by the way, and they have all 3 of them with these little posters. Have these little pull-up posters, and I find it really damn cool. And this will be going up on my wall. So I think after this I will be. Because I'm not going to do my overview of the Wayward Deluxe editions. I just think it's completely unnecessary. I don't usually do it, and the only reason I would have done it was because of the fact that I wasn't sure when the books would come in. So I'd have at least 1 extra day of videos. I'd be, straight. But for right now, you're going to get 5 straight days of videos. Which ironically, I got 5 graphic novels this month. But very cool. And at the end of each trade, you get like little essays. I think a lot more than the trades gave you, and a bunch of. And this, I know for a fact the straight paperbacks did not give you these variant covers. Something I'm probably gonna just like look at when I finish uploading. Honestly, so I really like variant covers. So yeah, a lot of it is just like, not a lot of it, but a good amount of extras. So if you like extras in your hardcovers, that's enough for you to buy a hardcover over a trade, I would say do so. So already worth it for me. Then we have Volume 2, or Book 2 rather. Book 1. The whole entire series, I'm going to do the credits for the whole entire series and show you the artwork. So it's written by Jim Zub, and I'm doing it for Volume 1, by the way. So you get rent issue 1 so there won't be any huge spoilers. Story is written by Jim Zub, line art is Steve Cummings, color art is all these people, and Jim Zub too. So here's all the credits. Stupid poster isn't taped at all. Hopefully my finger isn't covering anything. No, it's not. Okay, cool. Oh, can you even see it? There we go. You guys can pause. I know you have that, and no matter what device you're watching this on, you have a pause button. So 1 through 10 for Volume 1. Again, written by Jim Zub and drawn by all those people. And ironically enough, it was also color arted. The color art was also by Jim Zub. Oh, and artwork. The artwork is really good in this book, especially when there's action scenes. But again, I said all of these books are with supernatural type of comics. This one is like she goes. There's a girl named Rory Lane, and she goes to Japan to meet her mother, and there's a bunch of supernatural shit going on that she notices pretty quickly here. This one I read, ironically enough, because of Morning Glories. But I don't know if it was before or after, because I was trying to get into more like. I was on an Image Comics kick, and I would like order a bunch of Image Comics and then read some Image Comics in the local library. And I wanted to branch out to series I hadn't heard of before, or even authors I really hadn't heard before. But back then I had kind of heard of Jim Zub, but he wasn't a household name for me. Now he is. I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed this book. It's probably my favorite, one of my favorite books I've read. Already one of my top 10 Image Comics. In fact, if I do a part 2, which I probably will do pretty soon here, this will be on. And maybe I'll do like a top 15 or something like that. I'll do like everything at once. I do plan on doing that again, but it's been way too soon. I'll probably do like a... Maybe honestly, what I should do is... So what am I talking... Oh, I did one for last month? When did I start that? So I did a... Actually, I'll check right now. So I did like by independent... By publisher. I did the best books from each publisher. And... Just like to get more like videos out there and more unique videos, not just like comic reviews of whatever the hell. It was also books I owned too, so there you go. And I did a publisher. I've only done Image so far. So let's see. Oh yeah, it's my 200th video 3 weeks ago. So that had been October. Nope. September 30th, so I gotta upload that very soon here. I'll probably do October 30th, actually, as well do. On the 30th, you'll get, the next video of that. And I'll probably do, like, the remaining, publishers that I have there, the indie publishers, and I'll do Marvel and DC, and then I'll just make 4 videos, so, there you go. I can't do one for each, independent publisher. That would be, I don't even have 10 from, like Aftershock. I have 1 book from Aftershock, and I haven't even read that yet. So we can't do that yet. But there you go. That'll be that video. Hopefully I have 10. If I don't, I won't. If I don't, I'll do like some more from Image maybe. That's what I'll do to break even. But anyways, there it is. Wayward Deluxe Edition Book 1, collecting 1 through 10. Then we have Book 2. Again, the only one that has this thing on the side, and I don't mind it. I would only mind it if I thought that it was like a damaged copy or whatever, but it's not. Shouldn't be, at least. I got new from Amazon. Books 1, 2 I did. Book 3 I got used like new. Like with Sacred Creatures. And no little blemishes on either of them, just a few minor bumps, that's about it. Here's the poster for Book 2. And yes, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but these are going right up my wall. I don't know where. I was thinking I don't have enough room to put it, or at least I kind of don't have enough room to put it right where my Invincible poster is. Because yeah, I'd have to move the Invincible poster downwards, but even then I can't because I have that flat ceiling thing there. Maybe get rid of that. There's no reason for that flat ceiling book thing. It's a little thing. Back in first grade, and everyone in first grade did Flat Stanley, and it's just like a poster board of like pictures of Flat Stanley. And honestly, I every so often it will fall. Not when I'm in, always when I'm outside my room, and I'll open my door and go boom, and I'll hit myself, and it's like it's falling down, and it's like the perfect doorstop too, because you had to really like, I just squeeze in to get to that. Back up, and then it's a really good doorstop if I ever wanted to keep an intruder from my room, but I mean, anyone stronger than me would be able to. And I'm usually able to push the door a little bit more, but it's always like always stops you. So I guess if anything, it's a way to stop intruders, like to halt them a little bit. Like, they not stop them completely, but it's there, and then boom, you can deal with them then easier. But anyways, that's for book 2. It's probably well too. I was thinking of putting it right next to my bed, and I probably will do that too. That'd be kind of cool to do that too. Like when I roll over, or depending on what side of the bed I wake up on, I will see it right away. And then Wayward Deluxe Edition, book 3. Collecting. Oh yeah, so that one is 11 through 20, by the way, for book 2, and this one is 21 to 30. So 10 issues per volume. And this one I think is the coolest out of all the posters, because it actually looks like a poster. A lot of them just kind of seemed like it was just covers, the issues, but these ones are like actually connecting. I think this was the only one I said that was connecting cover, because this list has told you that for just for book 3. So I always thought I'd only get one, and then when I remembered, oh shit, that's right too. Book 3 is used like new. Well, I even get the poster. I did, obviously, and so I checked to make sure Volume 2 had, and Volume 2 did, which is nice to know. But that, as I say, is that 5 books. Obviously, all books I'm glad I got. All the gyms that I now have, everything that Jim Zub has done for Image Comics, everything Pablo Ramonti has done. I don't know about Klaus Janson. I want to say yes. I feel like he's the kind of guy who has done a whole hell of a lot for Image. And then Charles Soule, I have technically everything he's done. But definitely everything Jim Zub has done. That was the main thing. That was like the number one must own. So 3 hardcovers and 2 trades. Next month, I believe it will be 2 hardcovers, but pretty significant hardcovers. That's based off, if I'm able to get as in the sense that it isn't going to stop again. I hope it doesn't. And it's another one of those series from Image that I read before. My library had all the trades, but I'm going to get the hardcover to own it once and for all. It's another one of those, but you will see that next month, because I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. But that, as I say, is that 20 minutes. I think I did long enough. I'm just going to make sure I mentioned everything. Jim Zub. Oh, one thing I want to mention about Jim Zub is he is probably one of the best writers out there. Not only as a writer, but he's one of the best people out there, too. Like, I reached out to him on Twitter the other night when I had first ordered the books. I was asking him if it was the same size as his deluxe editions for his other Image Comics series, Skull Kickers. He said yes, in fact, and thank you for he said thank you for buying them, thanks for the support. And it's one of those things, like, he's like top of his game. I feel like he's not a gatekeeper. I doubt he's a gatekeeper at all. He's like, yeah, you're a fan of mine, cool. You don't agree with me politically, well, that's fine, but you're still a fan of mine, right? Cool, man. Oh, you're on this side of the argument? Nah, that's fine. You're a nice person. And he's a nice guy. He seems to be a really nice guy, and I think he's been on Comic Pop's channel a lot, and I want to actually watch that today. He did an interview with Near Condition. Comic Pop has done like a bunch of like Elseworlds Exchange. That's the podcast, all podcast episodes, and that's like an hour each. So that'll be a lot of time to watch. I'll probably watch it one of these days. When I'm putting out my shelves, or if I ever like get to like clean my collection, like moving my collection here and there or whatever, I'll probably watch it then. But I don't have time today. At least today I don't have time, or for the next week or so. But that, as I say, is that. I keep saying that, I know. So let's just end the video.